Hey guys, that's it here. I wanted to share the progress of my melee arcane wizard in just a handful of days and also emphasize the awesomeness of Loot 2.0. I started out 4 days ago with basically a naked wizard, a self-imposed 6 million budget for gear, and one lucky drop that started the whole idea, and that is a Moonlight Ward amulet. As you can see, it heavily augments your arcane damage, and as it happens, all my damage skills use arcane as their element. It has nice crit chance bonus and some pesky attack speed that I don't really need, but hey, I'm not gonna complain too much. The unique property of the Moonlight Ward is literally gravy on top. If you fight up close, and we do because of our Disintegrate rune, you get surrounded by up to 4 explosive shards that, guess what, explode with arcane damage, which is buffed up even further through the bonuses and add nicely to our melee burst. The second build-changing legendary is the Warzetian Arm Guards, which, aside from the amazingly high main stats, have a very nice unique property. I guarantee that if you farm in the right places, like the awesome Cathedral level 4, which is why we're here in Act 1, because of the speed that you gain from destroying objects, you'll feel like you're back to the old Whirlwind Barbarian speeds, constantly zipping left and right and killing hordes of enemies. My third legendary drop was the Saffron Wrap. It isn't gonna drop your jaw with an amazing unique property, but as a melee build wizard, you'll appreciate the massive toughness boost that this item will provide. Now let me buff up and show you the build in action. I'll head to the Royal Crypts. As I mentioned, a beautiful place to farm in with this build because there are constantly indestructible objects within your reach. There we go. These guys are very useful because they spawn at least 4 skellies to add to the trash packs that you kill. So I usually leave them, I give them at least some time to spawn some additional enemies. See, those speeds remind me of the Whirlwind Barbarians. I usually skip these guys because they're fat and take too much time to kill. These guys are too few. Nothing here, sadly. There we go. I teleport in, stun them, deal damage, start melting. I usually save up my arcane power, my Archon for elites, but if I feel pretty safe that there aren't going to be any elites nearby, I may pop my Archon beforehand and just melt a trash pack. I usually wait for these guys to pop out because they always spawn at least a pinch of skeletons to fight. Come on. There we go. Nice little bonus. Speed myself up. Look for enemies. Teleport in between them. Start melting. You can see the Moonlight Ward shards going around me, and when I go into battle within close combat, you can see them adding a nice bit of burst to the build. Oh, this is gonna be delicious. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. This is how you play this build. You jump straight into a pack of trash of enemies and destroy them. This is Torment 6, guys. Of course, these aren't the hardest enemies, but hey, I'm mostly playing for experience here. Now, I know that there are faster runs out there and shorter runs out there, and maybe even runs with better loot, theoretically, even though it's all RNG, as we all know. But this is the type of run that provides a satisfactory medium between being fast and efficient, and also not too long and not too short. Because I personally hate resetting my run every 2 seconds, as some of the most popular farming spots require you to do. Crypt of the Ancient runs, the Catapult runs in Act 3, they are, I guess, maybe better experience-wise, but I can't be bothered to reset my run every 2 minutes. It's way too repetitive and really removes any sense of fun from farming, at least to me. Even though it might seem a bit slower, I'm pretty confident I'm getting about 1 billion of experience per hour. So I would say it's still pretty decent, and it's, I don't know, a bit of a pride thing that you're farming Torment 6 and you're not farming any lower. I mean, you're doing the hardest difficulty in the game. There is something pleasant about doing that. Even the candles can work as a destructible object. Keep in mind, there are a lot of things in Cathedral level 4 that will augment your speed. Oh, there we go, that's an elite. I usually save up my Archon for these guys. They're fire chains, but they don't seem to be interested in moving closer, so that works in my favor, at least in this scenario. Yeah, they're dead. I will not deny that there are some elite packs that can dump on me pretty hard and cause me to skip them, basically. The way the old school Inferno used to work was, if you couldn't deal with an elite, you basically parked it somewhere safe and just went past by it. So honestly, I don't think there's any shame in doing that. If you can't deal with something, then, but you're sure that you can deal with everything else in the particular run, there's no need to drop the Torment level and sacrifice XP for it. Just park the elite somewhere and pass it by. These Harvester Fellows, you will see, they are not particularly hard, but don't ever let them surround you. And always move away from their explosion. You might think you're tanky, like I'm at 731,000 toughness, but it's still not enough, and a chain explosion of these guys can kill me outright. So don't be a hero and just move away when you see them exploding. They can also sort of permanently crowd control you with their main attack, which pops you in the air, and if there are 3 of those guys, they can keep you stunned until you die, so don't let them surround you, ever. Now I'm going to do something silly and teleport right into them, but I know that they're stunned and I have a way out, so that's why I did it. There we go. The carry-on bats are pretty damn easy. Even if they are elites, they usually get very little HP compared to other sorts of elites. So you can melt them down quickly with your Archon. Oh, another elite. That's good. I guess, maybe. Past Molten Plagued. That doesn't sound way too scary. I'm mostly scared of guys that you can't control with your temporal flux. If you can't slow them down with your arcane damage, for example, if they can teleport right on top of you and fire chains you, or just use thunderstorm or some of these frozen pulse affixes that were added in the expansion, they can be a bit of an issue, and these are usually the ones that I skip if they're giving me too much trouble. But all in all, this build can deal very efficiently with elites, especially in a rather easy environment like Cathedral level 4. I'll go over my Paragon point choices at the end of the video, but you can already see that my choices were pretty standard. I could have gone more defensively in my choice between intelligence and vitality, but I went all intelligence in the first section of the Paragon points. Since I use Pinpoint Barrier to augment my critical hit chance, I opted to increase my critical hit damage, because otherwise they would be unbalanced. It's been theory crafted that it's good to keep a balance of your critical hit chance to critical hit damage ratio 1 to 10. So I try to keep it as close as possible. Even though it's not perfect, it's close enough, I would say. And that's it for the run. I usually do the entire square. If I may sometimes miss here and there bits of the map, but I usually don't go back just to sacrifice efficiency for a full clear. So that's how I spend them. On my core points, I spend all my points into intelligence. In offense, I balanced my crit chance with going full into crit damage. In defense, I went full all resist. And in utility, I went all area damage. When we lose lifesteal in the expansion, I might go for life on hit here, and in defense I might go for life regen, depending on how I feel the items go early on. But until Reaper Souls comes out and I still have access to lifesteal, there is no sense in going for any other source of life regeneration. Well, this is how the basic run goes. There is not much else I can explain other than say that it offers good XP, it offers decent drop rate, the elites are doable even though it's Torment 6, and this build is practically designed for places like these. Cathedral level 4, Keep Depths, any other place that you can think of that has a lot of destructible objects that can work with your Warzetian arm guards, this is the place to be. You'll be as fast as a Whirlwind Barbarian once was, or at least close to it. That's it from me, guys, and see you next time.